Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yes, sir.
No,
So,
sir.
uh, I was talking about the plagiarism. So I have already explained what plagiarism is and how you can avoid plagiarism. So plagiarism is just about copying the copying the text and pasting it in the same way without changing the grammar or without changing the
Audio is not audible.
So please unmute your mic.
I have unmuted it. I am not getting why it is again and again getting muted because it is not. This is not being done from my side. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is
So it
very
is
very.
not.
Yes,
It
host
is
host
not
is
you,
doing the
sir.
same.
The host is doing so.
Sir,
Why
there
why
is a technical issue, so please continue, sir.
this is very strange why it is happening. So anyway.
Please be continuous, sir.
Anyway, so now about the contract cheating, academic integrity means ensuring that all of your work is a true expression of your individual understanding and ideas. Contract cheating is an attempt to undermine this commitment by submitting work that you have asked someone else to produce for you, or which you know to have been produced by somebody else. This applies to the work bought from any source, including online essay and report writing services, and also applies to the work provided by the third party without any payment. Obtaining work from others by theft, deceit, or fraud. Deliberately, unintentionally submitting a work that has been obtained illegally. So it is a kind called contract cheating. If somebody else has done a work for you and you submitted it in any journal without legal permission from that particular person, or without the knowledge of that person. And the fabrication is also very important. As a student, you are a part of the community of scholars who exchange and engage in new ideas, information in an open and respectful manner. It is therefore vital that your work is not only your own but also truthful and genuine, that it does not contain material that is untrue or made up of. It means that if you have done some kind of experimental work or some simulation and more, am I audible to all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay,
You,
okay.
you
Just, just I checked it because maybe that mic got muted. So fabrication is kind of I think that it is a kind of offense, because fabrication is kind of a manipulation. That if you have gone for some experimental work, then after the getting a result, if the result you didn't find satisfactory, then you using the softwares or any other method, you manipulated it. So it is against the ethics of research. Or if you have done some simulation or work on some software, then using some tricks or some method, you just manipulated the result. So it is unacceptable and it is unethical. So this must be avoided. That never present untrue or manipulated result in any of your paper. If the results are not satisfactory, you may go for again experimental process and check where the fault was, and then recheck it, but don't use manipulated results or untrue results. That is unacceptable, and if found or traced, then it will be against the reputation of your institution, against the reputation of your department. uh, and sometimes journal just blacklist you from that, if such type of activity noticed in your research work. So academic plagiarism in these days is on rise for the reason of lack of oversight, lack of proper training, for lack of statutory effective regulatory body, and absence of clear policies to deal with the scientific misconduct in academics. Plagiarism is often discussed hand in hand with issues surrounding academic integrity. In many instances, they are used interchangeably. And while plagiarism is indeed an act of academic dishonesty and academic misconduct, it is not entirely the academic integrity. It means that academic integrity covers so many points, so many things, and this plagiarism is the part of the academic integrity. Academic integrity is the commitment to live by these values. Plagiarism is an aspect of academic integrity in that using another ideas, world theories, illustrations, graphics, or figures, and without giving the credit, without giving credit. So this is the dishonest.
Please no, mute yourself. Please, please, please.
The International Center for Academic Integrity defines academic integrity as a commitment, even in the face of adversity, to fix fundamental values like honesty, trust, fairness, respect, responsibility, and courage. So these are the 5 points that comes under the academic integrity. So this gives the holistic approach to the academic integrity. Honesty being truth means truthful is a fundamental tenet of academic integrity in writing, in translating, and in giving credit to the owner of the work rather than taking the credit of someone else's work to your own. So, the claiming another's work to your is a kind of a dishonesty that someone adopt in a research work. So, it is highly objectionable and it is unacceptable and it is unethical. And the second important point is trust. Trusting in the reliability of student work is a critical to academic integrity, because you need to be you need to get assured about the reliability of the student when you go for any research work or anything, because whether he is adopting the right practices for that research or not, or he is stealing data from someone else's work, or he is manipulating the results, or he is not using the right way for conducting that research work that is required. So these issues must be resolved. Fairness, avoiding favoritism is another aspect of academic integrity. This means applying rules consistently and taking responsibility of your own action and adopting other acts as of a educational fairness. Respect, holding everyone's in high esteem is a part of academic integrity as well. Responsibility and courage, being liable and trustworthy is a fundamental to academic integrity. According to research by Portals, academic integrity is much more than avoiding dishonest practice such as copying during exam, plagiarizing, or contract cheating. It implies an engagement with learning and work which is well done, complete, and focused on a good purpose learning. It also involves using appropriate means, genuine efforts, and good skills. So, however, self-plagiarism is also plagiarism and should be treated as one. Self-plagiarism has four subtypes: duplicate or redundant publication. It occurs when an author submits identical or almost identical manuscript in two different journals. So this happens when a student submits or author submits manuscript in one journal, and parallelly he submits the same manuscript or some almost identical manuscript in another journal. So this is also a wrong practices which is a very common nowadays. Augmented publication, it occurs when authors add additional data to already published data and submit the new manuscript with a new recalculated data. So this is also a wrong practices which is very common nowadays. reading. So you can give the citation of both the references. Some more points, some more important points is quotation marks if you are using any kind of definition or any kind of standard definition of anything that you are using or citing in your text. Complete framing of the text is required when paraphrasing is done. Don't just simply rearrange sentence or replace few words in a sentence. So it means that sometimes what the people do, that they just change the word, they replace it with some synonyms, they change the active voice into passive voice, or some change the sentence structure. So this is not the proper practice. So you need to do the complete paraphrasing. Check your rewritten version against the original version. Am I audible to all of you?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay, okay, okay.
Audible, sir,
Form
audible.
your form
Yes,
your
sir.
own ideas and opinions with the different issues. So if you are going through a particular paper, just get the idea from that. And now it is your duty to how you can change that idea and how you can differentiate it with the idea you are using for a particular paper. So you can't use the same idea or with the same problem in your paper. Compare ideas of the author and deduce your own idea from that. Correcting plagiarism, run the plagiarism checker before submitting the paper. Just you go through the some software which for plagiarism check, and get assured that it is not having the plagiarism more than 10%. So don't submit it without checking, because in most of the cases you think that I have changed the text, I have changed the, I have replaced the words, synonyms, and I have paraphrased it. But still, when you go for plagiarism test, you will find that it contains more than 30-40% of flag. So it is unacceptable. In that case, your paper is rejected from the editor only. So from the very first page, your paper gets rejected. So in order to avoid such things, you firstly before submitting, you must go for flag test. See the similarity report, and then change the content, and then paraphrase it or replace, avoid the content that is plagiarized, and then focus on the portion which show high percentage of copying. First, the percent copying from the single source must be reduced on priority. The result and discussion portion must be free from any plagiarism. Introduction is generally giving the background, so chances of plagiarism are high. So focus on the correction. In if you write a paper on some experimental or some software analysis, or in using any tools and techniques, the introduction part usually gets the most of the plagiarism, because here you take the things from the other papers. Your experimental process, your result and discussion, your conclusion is generally your own work. So try to go through the introduction part very carefully. Then you must avoid the plagiarism by adopting some correcting strategies, and using direct quotation, paraphrasing, summarizing, avoiding image plagiarism. If you want to if you you when you if you are going through some paper and you find some figure very interesting, and you want to give it in your paper also, then try to draw the same picture in your own way, using some software, there are so many software available for figures drawing. Then using those software, you can draw your own figure different from that, using different colors, or modify it accordingly. Never copy the figures, or never use the figures without getting the copyright from that particular journal, if you are interested in giving citing that figure only. So drafting a manuscript drafting a manuscript, a tight or well-defined outline of the articles helps a lot in drafting. So these are some tips for drafting a manuscript or writing a paper. A tight or well-defined outline of the article helps a lot in drafting. So you must have an outline of the article, and stick to the author guideline of the journal while drafting the manuscript. It means that if you have decided, you must decide in which journal you are going to submit your paper, then go in that author section, guide to authors, and then get the details from there, and format your manuscript as per the requirement of that journal. You and be very clear with the British or American English, whatever the journal suggests, or whatever method you are adopting. So avoid any type of grammatical error. So there must not be any grammatical error or language error, error or typing mistake. And this gives a very wrong impression of yours. Use simple language, and it must be a clear. So instead of using very complex structure or using a very tough English or tough words, try to replace it with a simple one. So your language should be a straight and clear, so easily understandable. That is appreciable. Instead, some people have a false notion that if they write in a very complex manner, using some hi-fi English or some complex framing, some complex structures, so that gives a good impression. So I must tell you that it goes against you, rather it giving a good impression, it gives a very bad impression. So try to be a clear and pinpointed and very easily understandable language you should use. Maintain a systematic flow in writing and presenting information. So there must be a continuity in your paper, rather than skipping from one point to other and one point to other, and jumping from one idea to other. It makes the authors or your reviewers very confused that what you want to say or what you want to express. So you must be a very systematically express your ideas. Don't forget to give due attribution. Avoid plagiarism. Do not copy. Plan a precise aim. Split it into objectives, and tell what methods were adopted for getting a good results. So here is the section of papers and content. Abstract is the central idea. Introduction, defining problem and objective, rationally of work, materials and methods, the way to solve the problem, results, finding of the experiments, discussion, analysis of those results that you have find, and these all are very important points. Then conclusion, concluding remarks on the outcome. There you must acknowledgement from where you get the support. In if there was some funding agency there, or some institution helped you in testing and result and analysis, or anyone who helped you in any way, you must acknowledge that in a proper way. References must be given using a standard format, APA or anything. And then infographics, tables and figures must be given in a proper format that is required in that particular journal in which you are submitting. So introduction is the try to answer what is the problem. In introduction part, you need to be very specific and very clear what the problem is, and what are your objective, and what is the background of the idea. Materials and method, try to answer how the problem was studied following your own hypothesis. Discuss the methodology logically and in a concise way. Don't miss discussing about the any modification made by you in a standard method. Result and discussion, try to answer what was the outcome of the problem statement from your hypothesis. This section provides the evidence that idea that leads to the answer of the study of the question you proposed at the start. Reader must be guided to these findings by using the text of the result. State the result without any bias. Don't exaggerate the result. What just write it down in that way. If you are getting the some values that is not up to the mark, there is no harm in giving that data. Give whatever you got, whatever you achieved by conducting that result, instead of manipulating, exaggerating, or making any kind of change. Give the result as you obtained from that test or experiment. Don't be afraid of negative result. Don't never be afraid of reporting negative result, because you are doing the research. Research means that when you conducted a particular type of test, whatever value you got. There is no need to manipulate or change the data, or exaggerate it, or modify it in any way. So this is the wrong practice. So it must not be done. Report it as you report the same value as you got from the result. Use good statistics to show the result. Don't repeat the text in figures or table. Repetition of text is very something very wrong, and it happens very often. So avoid the this repetition of the text or figures or tables or in any form. Cite the text or figure in the text. Make table and figures like tree. Discussion may be separate section and join or joined as a result and discussion. Take the results one by one, discuss them, discuss in a proper way, discuss in a proper sequence. Discuss the results in the light of existing knowledge. Be critical, don't be biased. Discuss the result with clarity. Use the references freely to support the discussion. And in conclusion section, conclude your study outcome in a concise manner, in a very precise manner, to the point. Give the pinpointed explanation of everything. The conclusion should be precise and to the point. The conclusion should not be copied from the abstract. This also happens a lot, because presently I am supervising 6 PhD student in the area of material science. I when I go through the paper that is written by my student, I always, this is a very common practice. I always find that student used to copy the abstract in the conclusion section. He thinks he has the mindset that both are the same, but I always tell that both are the different thing. In the abstract, you give the overview of your work in a very in a precise manner. In the conclusion, you give the result that you have obtained and what you analyze from that, and how what the result you explain those part only. Acknowledgement, try to answer who helped you or supported you, or extended facilities for your research work. If there is someone, you must acknowledge him in your research work, whether it is institution or any lab or any kind of facility or any professor or your colleague help you. Acknowledge project grant that you received or any services you got or logistic support. And so always acknowledge them. References, stick to the uniform formatting style as prescribed by the journal. Um, and there is a specific type of referencing style for our journals. You need to go in the author's guideline and see what for what way method is they are using, or they want. You need to reference do the referencing in that particular style, in that particular fashion, which is the demand of that particular journal. And then major challenge, fill the missing links, correct the flow or logic. Just revise your manuscript as per the requirement. And so these are some references from which I have taken. And thanks. So if you have any question or queries, please don't be hesitant in asking. And especially in such topic, discussion is very important.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Any query from the participant side?
Yes, sir, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Ansuman sir, suppose
Thank you,
someone
sir.
has taken the material from AI, so does this material will be full of plagiarism, or it will be free from plagiarism?
Very good, very good question it is. And I must tell you that now it is unacceptable, because there are tools with the generals. Then if it does not come under the plagiarism, then also it is unacceptable. So AI generated materials is not acceptable in any good journal today. So never go for AI generated text or content when you are writing your paper.
Or
Never go for that.
okay, does paraphrasing will work to remove the plagiarism?
Paraphrasing, then a paraphrasing doesn't mean that you use some software for that. Paraphrasing means that the exact literary meaning of paraphrasing is that if you have gone through the one research paper and you have found 5 lines from that paper, then you need to you got the concept, you understood the content. Now you rewrite it in your own way. Instead of using some paraphrasing tool, or instead of changing the content by replacing some synonyms or changing in active and passive voice type, making some different type of sentence. So instead of that, write it in your own way, the same content, the same concept, the same idea which you have understood. So write it in your own way.
Okay. Sir, last question. Suppose I have got a table from someone else and I want to use that, and I have used AI software to change the table or graph. So will it be free from plagiarism?
No, it will be detected by the software in on which it's a software of the journal in which you are going to submit your paper. Believe me, it is unacceptable, and it is against the ethics. So never use any kind of AI tools for any of your research work. So draw the table in your own way and cite it in the proper way, reference in the proper, do the proper referencing, then it is okay. You can't use the AI tools.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. And nice answer, sir.
Sir, I have the question.
Yes, sure.
Sir, there is a fixed percentage of the plagiarism in any of the paper. That percentage depends.
10% or less than the maximum limit is 10% in most of the good journals.
So then in case of the previous question that if table has been copied from anywhere, then it will be coming under the percentage of 10%, then it will not be called as a copy case.
And if you have used the, if you are using that table, just get it down that if you are using the table, then you must take the copyright permission from the journal from which you have taken that table.
Sir, hello.
Because in case of table, in case of artwork, in case of figures, in case of images, you need to have a copyright permission from that particular journal.
Otherwise, we can refer that in our reference.
If so, if you are drawing the table and citing it in the proper way, then it is okay. If you are acknowledging the source and drawing it your own way, and using the data given in other papers, and you are making your own table, then it is okay, because everyone takes some data from the some source, but you
Yes,
must
sir.
acknowledge it, cite it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. So I have a question.
Yes.
Sir, if our plagiarism percentage is exactly 10%, shall we reduce it to less than 10%, or is that okay?
No. If it is at 10 up to 10%, and if it is acceptable in your journal, then there is no need to reduce it. If you want to reduce, you may reduce it. Otherwise, it is up to you, because journal is allowing you up to the 10%.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Yes.
Can we consider, sir, references while
No.
plagiarism?
No. References from abstract to conclusion.
Without referencing, it should be 10%, up to 10%.
Up to 10% in most of the standard journals.
And what about figure and photograph if I took from open source? Whether permission is required in that case?
No. There are two types of figures given over there. One is free from copyright, and one is for one you need to have copyright. So if it is a free source, then you can use it directly. Otherwise, you need to have a copyright.
Free source, whether opens, if the PDF is open, then it is considered as a free source?
No, this is not the way. If you type, for example, if you type a capacitor on Google, then and images, then so many images comes, and then if you go inside that particular site, you will find that is it a free source that you can use, or it is or some copyright is required for that image. So there it is mentioned.
You mean if copyright is there, then we have to cite it and take permission?
No, there you have to cite it, and you have to also take the copyright permission from the source.
Even though it is open source?
If it is
If I am
free,
using from open source journal,
if it is comes under the free source,
Participants, please, email will be provided for the query session. So please, participants ask their question on email also.
Okay.
just a minute. It is a very interesting session. And anyway, since there is a time limit, so don't be hesitant in asking any question. You may get the details from Preetham ji. And presently, I am supervising 6 PhD student and 4 MTech student in the field of material science. If you have anything to discuss on research and development or anything on paper submission or paper publication, then you may discuss it. There is no issue.
Okay, sir. Can you please share your number, email ID?
Email ID
Contact
is
number.
email ID. My email ID, Preetham ji will share with you people.
Okay.
I will share
Anshuman0203@gmail.com.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Sir, I have
Thank you.
Sir, kindly share PPT. Sir, kindly share PPT on email.
Sir, can you please send your PPT via admin on the WhatsApp group?
PPT will also be shared. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Because
Sir, I
the
have a
PPT
different
is
type
very
of
good.
question. May I ask, sir?
Yes, sure. Please ask.
Actually, what happened few months, one or 2 months back, I just published a
Please
paper.
be little.
Okay. Thank you,
loud.
participants. Please rest your
Just
query.
one
You can
question.
ask by email.
Just a one question.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so much, Anshuman sir, for sparing your valuable time and sharing your knowledge among us. I
There is
hope
one
our participants have
question.
been benefited from the session and will implement them for their future endeavor. I would like to thank all the participants for their patience, listening, and active participation in International Faculty Development Program.
Can you give the
Thank you,
a
sir.
feedback,
Further,
please?
I would like to request all the participants to fill the feedback form on daily basis to become eligible for getting certificates. Our next session will be held tomorrow, sharp at 6:45 p.m. in the evening. So all the participants are requested to be on time for joining the International Faculty Development Program for not missing any part of the session.
Sir, एक request है.
Our speaker will be tomorrow, Dr. Hussain Ali Ahmad, Dean College of Languages, Navroz, Dhok, Iraq. The topic is data fabrication and falsification, identification and preventing fraud. So please be on time. Once again, thank you all. We will meet tomorrow.
Sir, एक request है.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Share करा दीजिएगा.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Registration.
Please share email address.
Yes, sure. Okay, thank you.
Thank you all of you.
Thank you all.
Feedback.
Feedback from WhatsApp group पे आएगा.
Feedback form share
Yes,
from
sir.
WhatsApp group.
It will be available in.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I Dr. Namrata Srivastava. I registered, but I don't unable to see my registration ID. How can I fill in my feedback form?
We will.
Hello, sir.
We will share soon. Okay.
I am unable to see my registration ID.
Yes, we will share.
Yes, hello. Yes, dear participants, you can send your queries or any type problems, send in WhatsApp group.
WhatsApp group. Yes, sir.
Sir, my registration ID.
Okay, where is the feedback form, sir?
Yes, we will try to resolve it.
Sir? Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
Sir, I am Dr. T.S. Sukanta, sir. I have registered, but I don't know about the registration ID.
You have registered today or yesterday?
Today, sir. Today only I have registered.
Today at the evening.
Yes, sir.
So you got your registration ID after 10 p.m. tonight.
Okay,
And you
sir.
can fill the feedback link
Feedback
till
link
7
will be
a.m.
closed now.
Yeah, no. It is open till 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I registered yesterday, but I don't know my registration ID. Myself Lalitman Gupta.
Okay, you can share your problem in WhatsApp group or personal
you can
message.
share on
That is logged.
Okay.
Only admin mode is there.
Okay, you can share your problem personally on WhatsApp. I think it's
Okay, thank you.
मैं उधर जाके बोल देता हूँ